So finally, I think people are starting to say the thing that we've been saying for quite a while, and it's good. It's good that this is getting out there. It's good that that people are speaking up now, because for the longest time I was pulling my hair out and I was going, am I the one that's taking the crazy pills? Like, I don't understand. How do other people not see this yet for what it is? So Maddow did a monologue here, and she just lays it out, man. This is like a chilling warning that she's delivering for everybody about the current moment that we're in. Let's watch.
You can narrow or widen the aperture as much as you want. You can look at the very big picture or the small local picture anywhere in the country. And we try to do as much of both of those things as we can every week here on this show. But whether you're looking at small-scale local stories or the biggest picture stories about what's happening in our country, the story is the same. And it is now an undeniable thing. We have crossed a line. We are in a place we did not want to be, but we are there. The thing we were all warning about for the last few years is not coming. It is here. We are in it. This is what it likes, it turns out. This is what it's like, right? I mean, it's August. It's a Monday. Every day the sun rises and the sun sets, and there are, sports and movies, and there are new hit songs. There are scandals here and there. There are crimes. There's everybody's personal quotient of family drama and health worries and money worries and falling in and out of love and in and out of faith. Life has not stopped, and none of our personal lives have stopped. But also, at the same time, life in the United States is profoundly changing, is profoundly different than it was even 6 months ago. Because we do now live in a country that has an authoritarian leader in charge. We have a consolidating dictatorship in our country. And it sounds melodramatic to say it, I know. But just go with that for a minute, right? Think in melodramatic terms. Think in cinematic terms. Imagine the cartoon-level caricature of what you think a dictatorship looks like. I mean, it's secret police, right? A massive, anonymous, unbadged, literally masked, totally unaccountable internal police force that apparently has infinite funding, but no identifiable leadership. And they act in ways designed to instill maximum fear and use maximum force. I mean, when you imagine an authoritarian country, right, what you imagine is masked secret police breaking people's car windows and snatching people off the streets and out of church parking lots and courtroom hallways and taking them away with no charges, no notice, no paperwork, no explanation, not letting them see lawyers, and then moving them secretly to what are effectively black site prisons, where they won't tell you who's there and where no one's allowed in to see what's going on. Right? And that kind of a cartoon caricature of an authoritarian country, the one you might have imagined in melodramatic and cinematic terms ever before we got here, you would expect, right, that you'd have a scapegoated minority group blamed for all things. In our case, immigrants, right? And the new extraordinary powers and shows of force by the secret police, among other things. All these extraordinary powers and shows of force will be framed as necessary to stop this terrible internal enemy, right? Frame everything as immigration enforcement. Because for immigration enforcement, not only is all force justified, but maximum force is preferred. And they're trying to make it into a national entertainment to threaten to feed immigrants to alligators in South Florida, right? They're making them eat off dishes on the floor like they're dogs, the Chrome Detention Center in Florida. They want us to like that, right? The Republican Party wants to sell T-shirts about that. And if you think it's only about immigrants, take the president's own word for it when he says the homegrowns are next, and then he starts musing publicly about which Americans he intends to strip of their citizenship. In a cartoon caricature of an authoritarian country, displays of military might are not just for the country's external enemies. They're for the country's own people, right? Because in an authoritarian country, you turn military force inward toward the people of that country. And so now we've got these large and expanding military zones in multiple states where they have extended the legal boundaries of nearby military bases to include hundreds and hundreds of miles of nearby land. So they can give active duty U.S. troops the power to arrest and search people on U.S. soil. They're now doing that over hundreds of miles of territory in multiple states. Both The Intercept and The New Republic in the last couple of days have had new reporting about Trump administration plans to permanently integrate the active duty U.S. military into, of course, immigration enforcement. So we will have our own U.S. military troops mobilized on U.S. soil. U.S. military force turn inward on us in an ongoing and permanent way. For immigration enforcement, right? And, like they tried in L.A., to put down protests against the government, because those protests relate to immigration enforcement. What else do you think of when you think of authoritarian countries? I mean, in the worst case, you think of death camps. We don't have those. What we do have are black site prison camps, including huge new ones that are designed to hold thousands of people. The biggest ones we've yet had have just been bidded out to contractors for construction, and they're building them now on U.S. military bases. And they say they want states to build them all over the country. in the cartoon caricature of an authoritarian state, there's secret police, there's prison camps, there's the scapegoated enemy on whom all things must be blamed and against whom all things are justified.
I mean, there's nothing to disagree with. That's all right. And remember, guys, in the big bullshit bill that just passed, they gave ICE $160 billion. So understand what that means. That means the ICE budget is bigger than the budget for the Israeli military. It's bigger than the budget for most militaries around the world. So now we have, effectively, an army force, a military force, as she says, that's turned inward. And then what are the results of that? Well, we're already seeing it. We're seeing mass kidnappings. We're seeing abductions. We're seeing human trafficking. We're seeing no due process from ICE Gestapo thugs. No habeas corpus. They've raided schools. They've raided meatpacking facilities. They've raided farms, Home Depots, 7-Elevens. They literally deported a 4-year-old American citizen with cancer. No medicine. A woman was arrested immediately after giving birth and locked up by ICE Gestapo thugs. An American citizen who spoke Mayan was arrested and held for a week by ICE Gestapo thugs. Even when his mom showed up and said, here's his social security number, here's his birth certificate, here's all the documentation that you need, and they said, well, we can't do anything about that right now. So they kept him locked up for longer, even after that was proven. There are stories directly where an American citizen goes, I'm an American, I can prove it, and the ICE Gestapo thugs go, I don't care. I don't care. This is what we're looking at. We're looking at a U.S. Marshal who was arrested. They thought this person was undocumented. It turns out it was a U.S. Marshal. An American from Puerto Rico who was a veteran was arrested. As you all know, we had 288 people sent to a concentration camp in El Salvador. 90% of them, no criminal record whatsoever. Then they were tortured, they were abused, some of them were raped, then they were sent to Venezuela after that. You know the story of Andres, had a mom and dad tattoo, and was sent there because of the tattoos. They said, this is a gang tattoo. He's like, it's a mom and dad tattoo. They go, it's a gang tattoo. We're sending you. There was that guy with the autism awareness tattoo. He was sent there. They said, that's a gang tattoo. He goes, my brother's autistic. He's 15 years old. He's autistic. I help look after him. They go, no, it's a gang tattoo because we say it's a gang tattoo. They ignore court rulings. They've arrested Democratic officials. They've arrested judges. This is what we're looking at. What more would you need to conclude this? And this is why I've been going crazy. This is why I've been pulling my hair out. I literally don't understand what more people would need to see the plain-faced reality right in front of them. And I think the sad truth is that people tend to default to, well, it would never happen here. They tend to think we're different, right? Like, it couldn't get that bad here. Like, it's not the same. It's different. We're us, they're them. When it's us, we'll find a way. It'll be all right. It's not as bad as it might appear. No, but it is. What if I told you that it is? And what if I told you the signs have been there for so fucking long? And it drove me crazy. When you had all these right-wing commentator assholes pretending like all they cared about was free speech, then along comes Donald Trump, and they all hop on the Trump bandwagon. At the same time, this guy's suing a pollster because he doesn't like a poll that she put out. He's suing CBS for how they edited a Kamala interview. He's suing Simon & Schuster, the book company, because they released a book that had a quote of his he didn't like. He threatens to de-license news outlets for saying things he doesn't like. Sued CNN for over $400 million because they said he perpetrated the big lie, which was election denialism, which indeed was the big lie, but he sued over that. I mean, here's a guy who's got to try. Even before he was president, he was suing people over jokes. He sued Bill Maher over a joke he didn't like. This is the guy the free speech warriors decided to hitch their wagon to, and it is. Because they don't actually care. They don't care about free speech. They don't care about the Constitution. Trump literally said, we should terminate all rules, regulations, and articles in the Constitution. That's what he said when he was trying to get back in office after he lost in 2020 but insisted he won because he was lying to everybody's face. Turns out that the guy who would greenlight January 6th and would make phone, even after the violence on January 6th, made phone calls saying, hey, don't certify the election. Turns out that guy is an authoritarian, is a dyed-in-the-wool authoritarian, and is willing to do anything and everything to hang on to fucking power. And now here we are, and we're witnessing all of it in front of our faces, and more than half the country doesn't seem to realize it, right? They don't seem to get it. They don't seem to understand how high the stakes are right now. They don't seem to understand, like the law firms and the universities and all these fucking assholes who are, we'll make a deal with them. We'll make a deal with them. We'll agree to their terms on DEI or whatever the fuck. And then, would you look at that? Turns out you gave them an inch. Now they want a mile. Now they want a mile. Now they want your soul. Now they want to control the whole curriculum. You know, what was it? Brown University, I think they just got fucking extorted. They just got shook down and extorted by these thugs, by the regime thugs. The answer is no. Don't make a deal. Don't talk to them. Draw a red line. Say, we're not bending a motherfucking inch. We don't care. We don't care. We're not giving you anything. They need to hit a brick wall of resistance. But everybody's bending the knee, and everybody's cucking themselves, and everybody thinks, we'll be the ones to never piss off King Joffrey again. Well, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. And so it's only a matter of time. As Trump said, he wants to go after the homegrowns. As you all know, when it came to foreign students, now they're saying they cut off all the foreign students and said, we don't want any foreign students coming into this country. Then they changed it to, okay, you can come in, but you have to let us go through all of your social media posts. And what do you think is going to happen then? Oh, did you say something mean about Netanyahu? Did you say something bad about Israel? Did you say something bad about Donald Trump? Did you express a political opinion that the regime doesn't agree with? You're gone. We're kicking you out. If you're lucky. If you're unlucky, you get sent to fucking Alligator Auschwitz, or you get sent to Guantanamo Bay, or you get sent to any of the other concentration camps they're building. Right? That's where we're at. That's where we're at. And Maddow now realizes it, and it seems like everybody's catching on to it, and you just got to hope it's not too little too late, dog. Because this is where we are. Again, people don't realize. They're not quite there yet. They're catching on, but they're not quite there yet. It's here now. And that's why I respect, as you can see, she had up on the screen here, the text is, it's not coming, it's here. That's exactly right. We got to stop talking about it as, in this future, potentially on the way, we're on the brink of. No, it's like, no, it's here, bitch. It's here. Right now. It's already here. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.